Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Jarina. I have Jesse Gross and Leah Barros with us today, and we're going to do a tutorial of how to register for classes and use the student planning. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're going to start from the My Hamilton website. So you can get to this site by logging in. I'm going to turn off my camera. Or not. So we're gonna go to My Hamilton, and you wanna go to the courses section and add a channel. This is how you're gonna access WebAdvisor right away, or rather the student planning website that WebAdvisor is through. So there's a lot of different options here, and we're gonna go down to courses and then add WebAdvisor. So press this little green button right here, and then you can return to page. So now you have WebAdvisor on this section here. And so there's a lot of different links here, a lot of different things that you can access, but we're gonna go to student planning, which is going to bring you to the website where you can register for classes, plan and schedule, or view your own progress. It's a good idea to bookmark this page. I always do, so it's a lot easier to access instead of always going through My Hamilton. So now that we're on student planning, there's a few different options. First, we're going to see what the View My Progress looks like. So this page kind of shows you what your progress is in terms of different graduation requirements, such as writing intensive courses, quantitative and symbolic reasoning courses, physical education. So I'm just showing you all of mine right now, but this is also where you can see your progress for different classes in your major if you're declared. If you're not declared, since you probably aren't, it's going to look a lot more simple than this. You can also view a new program. So if I wanted to see what a American Studies major looked like, I could view that program and see what courses I needed to complete in order to do this major and graduate on time. Not really a tool that you will need right now, as you're probably just getting started on learning how to register for your classes. So that's where we're going to go to the plan and schedule. So there's this bar on the left, and you can go to student planning or plan and schedule. Okay, so this will show what your schedule looks like right now. This is what my spring schedule looks like. And I'm going to use this button to see what my fall 2020 schedule looks like. This blue box right here is really important. It tells you what time you can register for your classes in this upcoming date. So mine is at 10 a.m. So that's really important time to know, because on that date, you're basically going to be sitting at your computer with your schedule already, and as soon as it hits 10 a.m., I'm going to press this refresh button, and then it's going to say you can register now, and I'm going to click that. So just a handy tip to keep that open at the exact time that you're going to be registering for your classes. So I only have 2 classes on my schedule right now. You can kind of see what they look like, you know, when they are during the week. And so from here, I'm going to say, okay, I want to add 2 more classes. So I'm going to go to this bar again over on the left, and I'm going to go down to course catalog. And maybe I want to add a chemistry class. So we have Chem 120, Principles of Chemistry. I'm going to add this course to my plan, this blue button right here. And I have to select the term, so I'm going to select Fall 2020. So this class is being added to my plan. Let's go back to the course catalog and add 1 more class. Let's say I want to do want to do ballet if it's offered. Okay, so I'm going to add this course to my plan. You can also see what available sections are here, and that's also going to be helpful later. Looks like there's 2 sections in these classes. Now you could add this specific section already. So maybe I want to do for the class that I just signed up for, maybe I want to do the one that's not waitlisted. So I'm going to add this specific section. So a specific section means that it's a certain time since there's multiple sections of it. Now I'm going to go back to student planning and plan and schedule. And go to fall semester 2020. Okay. So now I have all of these classes down on this left-hand bar. The classes that I signed up for, elementary ballet is already on here. And it looks like I have this section already scheduled, which is great. I can see where it is on my schedule. Now for chemistry, I haven't picked a specific section that I want to do, and there's a lot of them. So I could choose any of these classes in my schedule, whichever one fits best. They all fit fine to me, but maybe I don't want to wake up at 8:30 for a 9 a.m. class. So maybe I want to do like an 11 a.m. and I can pick that class. And so I'm going to add that section to my schedule. Most people only have 4 classes in a given semester. So 4 classes is a pretty regular schedule. Do you guys have any questions so far, Leah and Jesse?
So I think that there is also a lab section that you have to sign up for chem. So I think that that can be found by clicking that. Yes. And that should take you to the course catalog. And not all science classes make you sign up for a separate lab. Some just have the lab included in the schedule, but I know that some of the introduction classes do not. So in this case, you do have to add it.
Awesome. Yeah, so I went to that link and I added the course to my plan. So I'm going to go back to plan and schedule. And you're right that lab sciences obviously have labs. So this is pretty much like an extra, not an extra class necessarily. Oops. Oh no. Sorry, my computer's being okay, so we're going to fall semester 2020. So right, so there's this principles of chemistry lab that I need to take on top of my regular class. And then I can see which of these I want to take. Oh no, but they all conflict with my other classes. So that means that since I have to take this lab to take the chemistry class, maybe I'll do this Monday lab. And it'll see that it interferes with the other class that I have. So I'll probably have to take a different class. At this point, you really just want to prioritize which classes you want to take. Maybe if you're like pre-med, for example, you want to get that chemistry, intra-chemistry class like out of the way your, first or second semester. So in that case, I might prioritize the chemistry lab over my Spanish class. And so then I'd choose another class to do. Okay, do you guys have any other questions?
Yeah, just a quick note. So when it comes to register now, so like once your time comes and you're actually allowed to register, that feature will only work if all of the classes that you have scheduled have no interference in terms of like waitlisting, right? Like you still might want to want to register to a class that you are waitlisted for, so you might still have it on your schedule. So you won't be able to do register now, and you'll have to go to each individual class that you are allowed to register on the left-hand side, sort of, bar of
Yeah.
courses and do it individually. But if you're cleared for all your classes and you're fine, there's no interference and no wait list, then you can use the register now and it'll do all of them for you.
Awesome. Sounds good.
In that case, you should definitely email your professor and let them know that you're interested.
Definitely.
What should I do if I don't have a registration time?
So if you don't have a registration time, that means that you have to contact the registrar's office and you'll get a time assigned. That usually just means it's an error with the office system.
Sure. Can I register for more than 4 classes during the registration period?
You can register for up to 0.75 more units of partial credit courses. So that might be something like orchestra or doing like the main stage production. But as a freshman, I don't think you can.
No, and I don't think any year can, but I know that there is a period that comes a couple weeks after registration when you can add an additional class or 2, if you so choose, to your schedule.
Awesome.
What do I do if a course I want is closed?
If a course that you want is closed, then you can put yourself on the wait list through the registration process. So there's that button that we talked about, that Leah talked about earlier, where it just says waitlist for this class. And then after that, you should email the professor and ask them if you can be put on the wait list or how they can manage it. And some instructors will ask you to, attend the first day of classes, and others will say that they'll reach out to all the students on the wait list.
Great. What happens if I either don't have a prerequisite for a class but approval from the professor, or I have the prereq and I can't sign up for the class?
In either of those cases, you would just want to contact the instructor, the professor, and ask them to waive the prerequisite for you. Be polite about it. But you can't guarantee that it'll happen, but our professors are pretty accommodating. So.
Great. All right, I don't have any more questions.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a question about additional opportunities to register before the summer, but I'm pretty sure Jesse mentioned it for the people who want to register for a 5th course, correct?
Yeah, just a couple weeks after the registration period.
Awesome. And then one more FAQ that we get a lot is if you don't have a reliable connection, or if you can't be at your computer at the registration time. It can be tough if you're in class and your registration time is during that class. So if that happens, you can email the courses that you plan to take, including the course department, the course number, and the section, plus any other lab details to the registrar's email, which is regofc@hamilton.edu. And so they'll register the classes at that assigned time. So that's if you don't have access to good connection at that time, especially if you might be home and you might have a rough internet connection. All right. I think we're all good, guys.
Cool.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah.
Bye.
See ya.